The Star-Spangled Banner.
My friends, land of the free, home of the brave, on screen for prisonplanet.tv viewers. If you're a radio listener, go to Infowars.com. We picked it up from a link off the Drudge Report. Shock photo, TSA looking for poop bombs. Land of the free, home of the brave. There is a 1-year-old baby with the TSA picking the child up off the ground with the TSA agent looking in the diaper. And these are the type of photos that pour out from slave training facilities all over the country. Because if you'll let them stick their hands down your pants and grope your small child, you'll put up with anything these federal goon forces do to you. But there is the image, the picture that tells a million words, and it is slave training for the small child that people in uniforms line you up and grope you. This has always been the plan. How do you take a free society and completely break their will and break their comfort zone and set the precedent to do whatever you want, whenever you want, something the Nazis didn't even do until they got you to the camp? And the answer is you set up certain reservations where there are no liberties or freedoms. Doesn't matter if state lawmakers, doesn't matter if district attorneys have pointed out what's happening to this child is illegal. When they grope your wife's breast, it's illegal. When they stick their hands down your pants, it's illegal. When they grab Ron Paul's genitals or Jesse Ventura's genitals, it's illegal. They don't care. They just do it.
Oh, over Thanksgiving, remember there were all these stories, front page stories about TSA, about frisking and groping, and we would, of course, we just kept doing a loop because we enjoyed it, but most Americans didn't enjoy it. And did you see the picture of the 6-year-old kid being frisked a couple of weeks ago?
Yeah, there was some video. In the age of cell phone cameras and all the rest of it, you get these kind of videos pretty regularly now, but it goes to a larger question, Secretary Napolitano, about balancing security with personal freedom. I mean, nobody likes to see this little girl being patted down, although it was done in a professional way, we should say, but still. And you see old ladies in wheelchairs being patted down. We still have to take off our shoes all these years later. How much do you think about and talk about balancing freedom with security?
Well, nobody likes to see those kinds of things, and we join in that, even though it was done professionally and according to the protocols. But what TSA is doing is re-examining those protocols all the time, and it's all in relation to threat. What is the threat? And one of the things we do see is if you categorically remove a group from any type of screening, well, those who seek to do us harm then exploit that group. So you have to be very careful on how you do it.
And by the way, remind Americans why we now check our liquids. It's because a mother was taking her baby on a plane in Britain and was willing to blow up the baby and the entire plane with the liquids.
Right.
So you're exactly right. When we say we're not going to screen 6-year-old, 7-year-old kids, and I'm not for it, nobody's for it, but then suddenly, for some crazed parent, you then open up a weakness in the system.
So here's a couple of things that we're working on. Number one is expanding trusted traveler programs where people will get biometric cards. They've already supplied information. We know they are safe to travel. We can move them through the system. So that's going to be expanded this year. That allows us to remove, I think, a number of people from the screening process in an appropriate
by the way,
way.
that would expedite it so
Move
much.
the lines.
And it would stop Tom Ridge from being... Just talking about, even Tom Ridge
I get frisked every
was having
time.
trouble getting to.
I get patted down every single time because I have an artificial hip, and I set off the electronic monitors, and they do a great job.
You're a little suspicious looking.
Well, but they got to do it. I think I'm a big fan of the TSA. I don't like the job, but that's the airport's fault.
I have too.
Maybe the TSA's fault. I don't know. Have more of them. But
I've been frisked the last 6 times in a row for something. It's something not my hip, it's my head, I think. But still, it makes sense though for people who pass. There's the money. money shot. People that pass through, that fly all the time. If you have the cards.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's my fault for not getting one. I haven't gotten around to it yet.
And what we need to do is, and if I could say so, kind of better market them and make them more easily available. So we're working on that. I mean, we process almost 2 million passengers a day in U.S. airports. The scope and scale of what we do in aviation is far beyond what any other country does. But the second thing we're doing is a lot of work on the technology of the screening itself. And that is evolving very quickly. But, you know, we would love to get to the point where we don't have to take off our shoes, or at least everybody doesn't have to take off their shoes.
Right.
Where you don't have to unload your laptop and put it on the conveyor belt, you know, that sort of thing. So that work is ongoing as well. So between those two things, I think we will be moving over the next year or two into a more risk-based system.
It's not about justice, it's not about agenda, it's not about mobilizing people, it's about dialing for corporate dollars. These two parties have sold the U.S. government and the American people to the highest bidders.
The United States of America is a terrorist base of operations. The United States of America is a friend to their evil plans. We are barbaric criminals.